Hello there guys, it is me Mr. Fossil, and I am back here with another video. For today's video, this is going to be a continuation of my last video, showing off all of my marine reptile figurines. So for today's video, I'm going to show you the rest of them. So for a brief summary, in part 1, I showed you guys figures pertaining to categories such as pliosaurs, plesiosaurs, and some miscellaneous figurines that I have laid throughout my bedroom. If you would like to check out part 1, check out the link in the description below, or the video end card that appears on screen at the end of this video. So without further ado, let's look at the rest of my marine reptile figures, shall we? So continuing from where we left off, we now have my Mosasaur figurines. Mosasaurs were a dominant group found in the Cretaceous oceans, and they are closely related to snakes and lizards. So in my collection, I only have two species. I have Mosasaurus itself and Tylosaurus. Here is the Safari Limited Carnegie Collection Mosasaur, the Geo World Mosasaur, the Safari Limited Mosasaur, the Safari Limited Tylosaurus, and the Safari Limited Carnegie Collection Tylosaurus. So without further ado, let's have a much closer look at these figures, shall we? So first, we're going to start off with the Tylosaurus. So first up, we have the Carnegie Tylosaurus, which I like its size. It's a very big figure, and I like its coloration, like that goldish greenish color, like that yellowish color, and also the black stripes throughout his body, and that very nice white underbelly. Tylosaurus was a formidable predator in the western interior seaway that cut off North America in two halves during the Cretaceous period. But I would not want to mess with this creature. And this reproduction is inaccurate, because now we know that mosasaurs had a tail fluke at the end of their tail, but this was made back in the 90s, so I don't blame them. And another very nice detail in there is what made Tylosaurus and Mosasaurs so terrifying. They actually had a second pair of jaws in their mouth, which was used to clamp down on their prey so it won't escape. This is something you definitely don't want to see swimming in the water. I would not be going for a swim in the ocean. But yeah, despite it being inaccurate, it is a very nice, decent figure to have in your collection. Next, we have the newer Safari Limited one, which is more accurate, because we have the tail fluke. I like this figure because of its vibrant colors. The orange and the black stripes, it looks like a tiger of the sea. Now, of course, Tylosaurus probably didn't look like this, because I don't know why it would look like a tiger, but I like its coloration. I like those oranges and blacks. And of course, in this one too, we have the second pair of jaws as well, in the back. Again, not something you want to see swimming in today's seas. But yeah, this one is a personal favorite of mine because of the colors. But there you have it, the Safari Limited Tylosaurus. But yeah, those are my Tylosaurus figurines. Up next, we have my Mosasaurus figurines. Mosasaurus was the king of the mosasaurs themselves, being the biggest out of all species. So first up, we have the Carnegie Collection Mosasaurus. This is the old version. This reconstruction is based upon what we used to think Mosasaurus looked like. Back in the 19th century, Mosasaurus was depicted as being a large lizard-like thing. This thing looks like a lizard or an alligator. But despite this inaccuracy, it actually goes to show a bit of history of how we reconstruct prehistoric species. I also like its coloration, too, like the greens, like the dark green, the light green, the lime green. But yes, this is a very nice figurine to have, for the sake of collecting and for the sake of history of reconstruction. But yeah, it's a very nice little decent figure, another favorite of mine. Up next, we have the Geo World Mosasaurus, which looks a bit similar to the vintage Mosasaurus because of its coloration. Like I like the greenish, bluish color, the light greens, the lime greens. That underbelly is very nice, and also here's its head. But yeah, this one looks like a giant lizard of the sea. But yeah, this one is pretty nice too. So here are the two figures for comparison. They do look quite a bit different, but you guys can see what I mean by they look similar. They both look like giant lizards that live in the ocean, like we once thought they looked like. Next, we have the Safari Limited Mosasaur, which I think this one's another favorite of mine because of that very nice bluish color with the contrast of the white underbelly. When I look at this figure, I get reminded of whales and porpoises. But yeah, look at that. Very nice bluish color. Reminds me of a whale. And of course, despite this figure being like, not very vintage, it does not have the tail fluke. So it is inaccurate. And of course, there's no inner jaw inside of there. I don't know if Mosasaurus had that. It probably did. But I would not want to mess with Mosasaurus because Mosasaurus, I think, could have grown over 50 feet long and was like the top predator of the Cretaceous ocean, a formidable sea monster. But I just love this figurine's color. Alright, and its sculpt. Very pretty. Very nice hue of blue. But yeah, these are my Mosasaurus figurines. But there is one that tops even these ones. For resting on my bed amongst my plushies is a large Jurassic World figure of the Mosasaur. This is not just the biggest Mosasaur figure I own, or marine reptile figure I own, this is the largest figure in my entire collection. It is so big that the only place I can put it is on my bed. So this one is truly the king. But yeah, guys, these are all of my Mosasaur figurines. So now let's move on to the final group, shall we? So next up, and finally, we have my crocodile and crocodilian figures. Crocodiles and their relatives were very plentiful and diverse during the Mesozoic era, and came in a variety of forms, shapes, and sizes. Here we have the Safari Limited Caprosuchus, the Safari Limited Sarcosuchus, the Safari Limited Plesiosuchus, and the Safari Limited Carnegie Collection Dinosuchus. So without further ado, let's have a closer look at these crocs. So first up we have the Plesiosuchus. I like this figure's coloration, those nice blends of browns and yellows and beiges, and that creamy underbelly. As a matter of fact, this figure just looks creamy to me. I like its coloration. It looks like something that you would see in a reef hunting in the Jurassic oceans. I think that's when this creature lived. But yeah, this is a crocodile. Despite its appearance, it is one. It has a tail fluke, webbed feet, and tiny flipper hands. This creature is entirely adapted to life in the shallow seas of the Jurassic. I think that's when it lived. But yeah, I just love this coloration. A nice creamy blend of colors. Very pretty figure. Up next, we have this bad boy, the Caprosuchus, aka the boar croc, from the Cretaceous period of Niger. This crocodile was not something you would want to mess with because it can both live in water and on land, and was capable of even running on land too. I do not want to get in this creature's way. But I like its coloration and its design. The browns, the goldish color as well, and the black speckles. And I also like its texture too. But yes, a very nice sculpt. It gets its name because of its tusk-like teeth like warthogs have. But yeah, this figure is pretty awesome to have. And like I said, I would not want to run into this thing if I was traveling through the swamps of Niger in the Cretaceous period. But yeah, a very nice figurine. This here is the Sarcosuchus. despite it being known as the super croc, it actually isn't related to crocodiles at all. And it lived during the Cretaceous period, and it lived in Africa. And this creature was large, around 7 to 12 meters long, so not something I would want to mess with. And I like its coloration. It actually has similar colors to the Caprosuchus figure. But yeah, this figure is very nice to have, and it's pretty large. So a little close-up. But again, very nice sculpt and very cool colors. So here's a comparison between the Caprosuchus and the Sarcosuchus. You can tell that they have similar colors. But both of these crocodiles I would not want to mess with. Especially this guy. He can gallop after you with those very long legs. And finally, we have the terrible crocodile, Deinosuchus, the king of them all. This is said to be the largest crocodilian ever, reaching lengths of over 30 feet or possibly even 40 feet, and could have been capable of eating dinosaurs. But this figure is pretty massive, and I like its coloration, like the greens, grays, blacks, and yellow speckles covering its body. It's a very fine sculpt, and it used to be very heavy when I was a child, but now it's not as heavy. But yeah, I do not want to run into this thing if I lived during the Cretaceous period. Would not go near the water anywhere if this thing was around. But yeah, guys, a nice sculpt and a very nice coating of paint. Very cool figure to have if you like crocodiles. But there you have it, guys. My prehistoric crocodile and crocodilian figurines. But there you have it, guys. Today we talked about mosasaurs and prehistoric crocodilians. And that is the rest of my collection of marine reptile figurines. I hope you enjoyed this series. Please like, comment, and subscribe for more content. And if you like this video, let me know what you thought in the comments below of my figurines. Like I said, if you want to check out part 1, go right ahead. But I hope you all enjoyed and have a safe day and a nice day. Bye!